Well, have you guys ever heard of the Palazzo Dario?
Oh, what? Is that?
What
Sounds
is that?
tasty as fuck.
It's either a dessert or a place downtown.
Close.
Okay.
The Palazzo Dario is a palace located between the Palazzo Barbaro Wolkoff and the narrow Rio delle Torricelli on the Grand Canal in the Sestiere of Dusodoro, in the city of Venice, Italy.
Oh, all right.
Oh, so it's Italian.
You can tell by the words and
Those
stuff
are
you use.
Italian places.
Heck yeah, buddies, get your pasta out. It is a 500-year-old palace that always seems to be up for sale. It is said the palace is cursed and that all who own it, or even just in talks to own it, either lose everything, lose a loved one, or lose their own life violently.
Yeah.
In 1486, it was built for diplomat, merchant, and secretary to the Venetian Senate, Giovanni Dario, after whom the palace was named. 8 years later, in 1494, Giovanni died, and the palace was passed on to his daughter, Marietta. Though his death was not reported as violent, strange, or untimely, it was in contrast to the uncanny string of deaths that have followed ever since in connection to this palace. His daughter Marietta had married Vincenzo Barbaro, a wealthy merchant of spices, and the son of Giacomo Barbaro, an owner of the neighboring Palazzo Barbaro.
Hey, you know,
These
Man,
are
all
these
names,
accents
I
are coming
feel
off
like I just wanna
perfect.
dance.
intensely Italian.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you actually put Parmesan cheese on your script.
Grazie.
Yeah, it's like every single pizza shop.
Vincenzo Barbaro.
Soon after they had inherited Cadario, Vincenzo lost all of his money, possessions, and not long after, his life, as he was mysteriously stabbed to death. And Marietta, brokenhearted by the news of her murdered beloved, committed suicide by plunging herself into the Grand Canal in 1505. Their son inherited the palace after their deaths, but also was killed by mysterious assassins in the island of Crete in 1542.
Are there any other type of assassins?
I was going to say, what
a blatant
Yeah.
assassin.
Right, what is
Yeah.
I'm
that?
gonna kill this guy now. I'm gonna go over and kill this guy.
Some people are pretty proud to be assassins. I don't know.
Same thing with the mysterious stabbing. Like, what mystery is there with a stabbing other than who did it? Like, it's,
Italians are very shady people. I don't know.
It was done with the hilt.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
what the hell?
Hey, Giuseppe, my side is starting to bleed. All of a sudden. I
I
don't
think
know
as
what's
most
going
people
on.
are just
Mysterious.
drunk on wine, they don't know what's going on. So, anyway, after these deaths, Venetians began to think the palace was cursed, saying it was built on an ancient Templar cemetery. Others said that the curse was due to an inscription on the ground floor which read, "Mi piace mangiare il formaggio," which means, I like
Something
to
with
eat
cheese.
cheese.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm kidding. It actually said,
Ow.
Sub ruina insidiosa genero. I bring treacherous ruin to those who live under this roof.
Kind of ominous. Has anyone seen that written anywhere here at Fort Fritz?
I'm kind of wondering, maybe.
Yeah.
For 2 centuries, this palace remained mostly uninhabited. On occasion, the Senate would rent it out for Turkish diplomats. It wasn't until the 19th century, when severe renovations were done to the palace, that the curse seemed to resurface. Alessandro Barbaro, a descendant of Vincenzo Barbaro, completely rebuilt the facade of the house, eventually sold it to Armenian diamond merchant Arbit Abdul, who quickly lost all of his wealth after purchasing the palace and died a very poor man. The next buyer was an Englishman named Rawdon Brown, who also had to sell it due to economic decline. The curse gained momentum and became more severe thereafter, and this is just a list of people who purchased this place and what happened to them. An American millionaire named Charles Briggs bought the palace later and committed suicide there. Count Filippo Giordano delle Lanze was assassinated there. Businessman Fabrizio Ferrari went bankrupt and supposedly committed suicide. Industrialist Raul Gardini bought the palace for his daughter and shortly after shot himself after being involved in a political/financial scandal famously known as Tangentopoli.
Man, this is a real hit list.
Yeah, it is. Do the Clintons own this place? Am I right?
It's going to be
Hey.
like, just sounds like the Millionaire
Murders.
Sad Boys Club. Like a bunch of sad ass, like rich dudes bought the place and then killed
And then
themselves.
just killed
in it.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Badass
just-
rich dudes.
I don't even feel bad for him. Like, you can afford a palace. I'm supposed to like, oh, you got cursed. Like,
I
feel
mean,
the same way.
maybe they just really couldn't afford the palace.
an
and,
Armenian
like,
diamond
yeah.
merchant. Like, fuck him. Like, okay.
Mario Del Monaco, the famous tenor, was seriously injured in a car accident when he was considering buying the property and decided against it.
That would do it.
Christopher Kit Lambert, the manager of The Who, bought the property and supposedly committed suicide by falling down the stairs.
Committed suicide by falling down the stairs?
That sounds like it could have just been an accident. I'm just saying.
You gotta leave,
I don't
well, if there's
know.
a note, like
Even Woody Allen almost bought the property, but
What?
he got completely turned off from the whole thing when he learned of the history of the place.
Yeah.
well,
Like,
Woody
even like
Allen
a
also
recent
has kind
history-
of a shady kind of thing going on too. What? Come on.
Anyway, it's currently privately owned, and it's sometimes open to the public for viewing due to an agreement with the owner and the Venetian Art Museum.
So the owner now doesn't have a problem?
I guess not.
So